Hey everyone, this is Snark with Snark's Domain, and we're back at it again, taking this card apart and reapplying putty. So yesterday we tested out Laird T-Putty 607, which you can see here. It's like a nice little indication I used enough putty, so let's get started. Teardown already took the 3 end screws out here. So I was like maybe going to do this stream last night at like 2 a.m. I sat down and set up a thumbnail and kind of like did some of the settings. Accidentally forgot to take off the scheduling feature, which I'm kind of lately has been kind of set on default for me. I must have saved the wrong settings. But yeah, I sat down and I was like, got things ready, and I was just like exhausted and decided I needed sleep more than I needed to get ahead with like one test. Yeah, each test taking 2 hours, so that's all I would have achieved last night is the stream plus the first ETC hash test. But yeah, I went out for a friend's kid's birthday party. One of my friends, his son was turning 20, so went and did that, and surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but kind of, the live music was really good. You guys know how sometimes you go somewhere with your friends and there's like live music and you're just sort of like, that's great, but I wanted to like listen to what my friend was, you're there to hang out with your friends mostly. And then you get there and there's live music and it's so loud you can't hear yourself think. Well, that didn't happen last night. Last night the music was good, and I was like originally planning to like try and get back home for around midnight to like get a stream going, but instead I just like stayed there and was enjoying the music, so and that's why we're doing this now. All right, so we got the card cracked open here. I'm going to try and switch to the close-up cam. This just kind of flopped out during disassembly. That's the area in there. Good coverage. I see no blank spots on any of the VRAM, and we'll get a close-up of the over contact patch. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. If anything, there's just a slight buildup on this side, and on this side it's closer to bare, and same with here, bare and bare matching up. So it's quite possible that I maybe didn't tighten down perfectly evenly. Hard to say for sure. But the VRAM got good coverage with the putty, and that's the most important part with these tests. So yeah, that was Laird T-Putty 607. It's kind of sorry for coughing in your ear. It's kind of clay-like a little bit, but it's still reasonably soft. I mean, let's see if we can get these finger socks to work. It's got a hole in it. Toss that one. Yeah, it's kind of made it dirty there. Well, think of the consistency. This feels like it's well, it's like a soft clay, like almost like Mac tack. Tack's that putty stuff that you use to stick things to walls sometimes. All right, so I did manage to, let's go back to the overview here. I did manage to pull the plunger back without too much difficulty this time. Sometimes, depending on the putty, if it's like a much lower viscosity, stickier putty, it'll make that part hard. Let's get my phone out of the way. All right, so we are going to scoop up the good stuff here and just make sure we don't get any contaminants first. Scoop this stuff up and put it back. So as far as cleanliness and ease of cleaning up, this one is very good. All of the clay-like putties are very easy to clean up. This one, actually that's right. This one would also reshape very easily if you were just needed to, like, if I had it elsewhere where the TGPP10 currently is, this putty feels like it would be, it's very similar in consistency to TGPP10. Well, actually, I don't know. No, this one is a little more clay-like. Fresh TGPP10 is always creating stalagmites and stalactites, the jaws of putty, as it were. But this one was, this is halfway between, this is halfway between TGPP10 and being totally clay-like in a way. I'd say. It's got a good consistency. Okay, so this is the problem with reloading a syringe, is now trying to get the plunger back in, which means I'm going to have to use got a stainless steel screw here. Oh, sorry card. I'm going to punch through and make an air path there. That'll let me, hopefully, yeah, so I can get that reloaded up again. The only reason I'm putting this stuff in here instead of a jar is I don't have a jar for this putty, as it came in this this thing from the factory, and I'm not going to be able to get that white plunger out, and I don't think it would make sense to try and load it back in there. I'd have to use pressure or push. Yeah, it's just not going to be feasible. So, and I didn't think early enough to grab a different container. So, but this works. All right. So, like I said, cleanup is fairly easy with this one. To clean that screw later. Get started on the final clean. See, we got it's 10:41 my time. Can probably get the card back on the bench. Say, should be before noon. 7-8 hours of testing. Yeah, I should be able to get to applying T-Poly Putty 3 for tonight. Work through a couple tests. I'm on call now for work, so if a work call comes in, I have to go, then able to get as many putties tested out, but I'll still be able to remotely work through the 3 tests. It's nice. I think this is what I was lacking before, was a method of being able to work through the testing piecemeal, and it feeling fairly daunting to try and test out a whole bunch of putties and finding the time, and basically just to create a ton of footage that I was going to maybe edit into one massive video, and then always testing new stuff and it never being like, oh, do I have to retest everything? I don't think so. So this allows me to take little bite-sized chunks out of the work and have way more progress than I have for the last couple months, I would say, in testing. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of the format, if it's if you guys like it or not. Once we've got, let's say, all the putties tested, I'll probably make a video with the highlights, and then I should probably post another video just talking about, well, documenting Test Bench 2 setup and show you guys pictures and videos of it, and my methodology, go through that, and then I'll update everyone on like a normal video, also where to find the charts. And then, yeah. So I've seen a lot of people commenting, asking when I'm going to be doing testing of one item or another. And I'm gonna try my best to get to testing everything. Wish I'd started this format sooner. Oh, I just realized the, sorry, I'm going to add some music for you guys. Let me know if it's too loud. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll have to try and set up automatic like scene switching from the countdown to just automatically go to the what I'm calling like the overhead cam shot. Cool. do a little bit of brush action, not tons. Does work pretty good for spraying it on though. It's kind of nice. That saying you're supposed to sing the alphabet as you brush your teeth? Something like that. Should I be doing the same for putty? Probably look into setting up a notification, like actually using the scheduling feature a specific time, because I should probably know an hour or two before I go to stream that I'm going to be like able to go on live. Could probably set something up where I have it so it sends out a notification a bit sooner. But noticing I have the most viewers right at the end of the stream, which is usually like 40 minutes in. And I think, I mean, I don't mind how many people do show up or don't to the live. Obviously, it feels cool when there's like conversation and stuff to talk about, but this is also for future viewers for reference of all the how I'm doing the tests and stuff. Been going through a lot of ISO lately. Got another bottle or two. Then I'll have to restock up. If I should buy it in bulk. Probably not. I mean, it's just as cheap to get it from like get this stuff. Sucks because I think it's the Walmart. I went there or Superstore and they didn't have the 99. They had like the 70%, and I just won't use that on computer components. You can, but it'll be just super important to let it all evaporate. Just that trace amount of water to 30%. Not even a trace. That's like a fairly significant amount, I think. So yeah. Right, so we got it mostly cleaned up here. Didn't take too long. Just a slight amount right here. going to be okay. MRRJ6549, welcome to the stream, buddy. Why are you the only person who's covered using thermal putty? It's basically unheard of to be used in computer parts aside from your channel. Actually, I would agree. There's not many YouTube channels out there that have tested it, but there are a couple. So if you're into overclocking and, well, I would consider some legitimately good criticism of computer hardware, especially some of the AMD stuff, then if you check out, yeah, thanks for showing up. If you check out Frame Chasers, he's got a couple videos. If you go to Frame Chasers YouTube and then go to the channel videos and search, and you can just type in TGPP10. So he's tried it on video cards, and I think he also, yeah, he tried it on BDIRAM DDR4. So there's a couple others. There's actually, like, now I think about it, there's like 5 or 6. I will maybe make that list of links to those ones just so people can see other people doing this too. I'm not going to do that right now because it's going to take a bit of time for me to do that, but there's not many people, and I found out about it on just putty in general, and specifically TGPP10. I found out about it on forums after I ran into issues with thermal pads. There was a guy, I don't know if it was on Overclockers, might have been on Reddit, and he had a Radeon 7, and he was, I think he had a water block, and he applied TGPP10 to like the entire card. He said he basically just like plastered the entire thing with like different amounts and worked out the compression stuff and then reassembled everything. And he was saying that he'd got he had the world record overclock for something or other with his card. I don't know what category, and see if I can find that source. That's what piqued my interest initially, and then I saw Linus Tech Tips try out K5 Pro, and so I thought that would be promising. And we are going to retest K5 Pro on this card. So far I've only tested it on the hot plate, and gotten a little bit of lashback for criticizing it so much without properly testing it, like in a real world application, like a video card. And that's, while I kind of somewhat trust my results off the hot plate as being like a half decent indicator, I can also see CSGR's point where that's not like the perfect test. It's better to test it on hardware. There'll be a more accurate indication of its performance. So we are going to do that. But before we do that, we are just working through all these other putties that I've... some of them have been sitting on the back burner, and other ones we've already tested. But this is our new test bench, so we're going to do it all again, eh? Not sure what happened to the music there. I'm just going to get it playing again. Is there a reason for so few covering it? Is it something that's been developed in relation to thermal pads more recently? So it's been around for years. Well, and K5 Pro has been around for quite a while. And just thermal putty as a thing has been around for a very long time in refrigeration. So but it is more recent where it's getting noticed for use with video cards and consumer grade electronics. It's in everyone's got thermal putty in their home or vehicle with the things that they own. If you own a car, there's thermal putty in it. If you own a cell phone, there's most likely thermal putty in it. If you own a PlayStation 5, or a Lenovo laptop, or even recently some of the Acer laptops have thermal putty. Lots of manufacturers are using phase change materials now. You know, Linus Tech Tips covered that. Was it last year sometime, I think? And talked about how it was hard to get the legit stuff. It's actually not that difficult. If you want to get Honeywell PTM 7950, you can just go to Mod DIY and get it directly from there and know that it's gonna, without testing it 100%, it'll be real. At least that's to the best of my knowledge. The Ghoul, hey mate, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, sorry, I've just been talking and not focusing on what I was doing. We're just going to apply the TG6060, the stuff here. This is going to be hard to do in this syringe. Even though it is a syringe, I don't have like the gun apparatus for it, so we are going to load it up. I'm just going to mute the audio from my mic for 1 sec because this makes a really loud plastic noise, so... Just realized I had my mic muted there for like 30 seconds. Muting the mic is dangerous. Imagine going the whole stream. Well, the other day, I didn't have the music going in the background at all. Like, I was listening to music, but you guys were just listening to my voice, and I was like, oh crap, that must have been boring when I wasn't talking. You are extremely informative. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys willing to watch this content. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Do this. Oh, wow, that is a tiny hole. That's going to be, you know, we're going to test out. No, it's going to hurt my thumb way too much. Okay. This might be difficult. Just going to push that there a little bit. Get this over here. I'm going to have to do the same thing I did with the TG-NSP80. I'm going to make this a bigger syringe. Let's go for full bore, might as well. I'll just use this piece of... Oh, this one's not resin stabilized yet. You guys see this? We're just going to use it like a cutting board. It's locked in. So the UX Pro actually did pretty good. Well, really good. But when I took the card apart, you guys will be able to look at the footage if you want on the previous stream. I didn't have full VRAM coverage. And but I did have really good core contact, so I'd press down during reassembly of the UX Pro, something I forgot to do with the U6 Pro, which is why we're going to retest it. But something I noticed from those results was that even sorry, let me go back. The UX Pro test, where I didn't have full coverage, but I did press down, had cooler core temps, delta to ambient, than the U6 Pro or the CX H1300, which tells me that I should have been pressing down for both of those. So we are going, after we get past a few more of these putties, we're going to retest all three of those, because they're effectively vying for top positions in the chart, and it's important that we get the testing accurate and try and eliminate any source of error. Let me just go grab a screwdriver for a second, guys. Right, so just gonna see. Oh yeah, that is the ticket right there. That was so easy. Wow. Okay, that should be. You know, I should just load it all. Yeah, we're gonna load it all. Full send. Oh, well, I didn't mean to load the little white plunger too. Whoops. Lagould, what do you mean by squeezing after or before the screws? I'm going to rewatch the UX Pro Live, I guess. Yeah, so during reassembly, specifically with clay-like putties, of which there are several now, especially ones, that have higher, you know, we don't want to waste too much putty. I don't mind getting a little bit on my fingers if I... Oh, that's smart. They've got the chamfer cut on this plunger, or yeah, to match the profile, so there's no wastage. Let me just wipe up my hands here, guys. So during reassembly of clay-like putty, at least with this card, it's important to press down firmly but gently, and just to get it to fully compress and spread out. So clay-like putties that this is important for include Penchem's TH949-1, 855-5. We've got Upsiren UX Pro, Upsiren U6 Pro, and possibly, we're gonna have to check this out, possibly the CX H1300, which also performed very well. So we're going to redo those after we get a few more of these out of the way. See what happens. Ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to use this screwdriver to punch an air hole of sorts. Actually, that worked out okay. Just so I can get the plunger in. Okay, this stuff is very, it's good and soft. It'll be, you know, similar consistency maybe to the T-Putty. Yeah, it's pretty good. So we're gonna do the weigh-in before and after. See how much we use. That looks like 132. So let's get this stuff pasted up and I feel like I should do the close-up for this. Let's see what it looks like. Does the music volume sound okay, guys? I want to make sure it's like there, but not too loud for you guys, and not like obnoxious either. Good, I think it's putty time. Make it a little bit brighter here. I need to work on my lighting probably. Yeah. Trying to work on audio quality first, and I think I'm still have a bit of a ways to go, but hopefully get it dialed in pretty soon. Okay, this is a very soft putty. It is not going to have any problems compressing, so I won't do the press down method with this stuff. See if I can do this from the back. Sticky. This could be a messy one to clean up. Okay, this is not like T-Putty. T-Putty was halfway between this and being clay-like, but still soft. T-Putty 607 is a nice consistency. Let's weigh in. Google says, yeah, volume is cool for me. Awesome. Glad. So we were at 132 before, and we are now at 112. So we use 20 grams. So let's see here. I think we are good. We reshaped the 3 down here. This one We got paste on the die. Let's do the gradual turn. We'll do the tilt test. Yep, everything held in place. MRRJ6549 says tune. Like what tune? This one we're currently listening to is called Purple Beat by Georgia, and it's from Licked Music. Okay, this is where I need to set up some sort of flashlight I can turn on, so it's going to take a split second to set up here. Just so I can see the... Yeah. There we go. Oh. I am not really fond of soft putties. They make a mess to clean after. The results are worse than clay-like putties. Clean after and results are... Yeah, so, until now at least. Results are worse than clay-like putties. Are you sure about that? Andy asks. Hey Andy, how's it going? There are some putties that are not clay-like that are very high performance that we're going to be testing. Well, at least one for sure would be EVGA putty, which I have some, and I know we can't buy it anymore, just like we can't buy TGPP10, but I think it's important for me to test them because I don't want people to throw their EVGA putty out when they rip a card apart, because that would be really sad for them to be throwing out such an awesome putty. Yeah, Andy, thanks for you made it, buddy. One of us. So everyone's gonna have their preference for putty consistency, and I was talking with Upsiren yesterday, and they were wondering if there was like improvements or anything they could do with their product to make it not as... Their UX Pro and U6 Pro are very high performing, but I don't want to say but. There's an extra step of like needing to apply pressure for those ones at least, because they're fairly high viscosity. Now I think, yeah, so they contacted me and they're like, hey, you know, is there something we could do? And I was like, yeah, you could maybe look at lowering the viscosity a little bit. And so they're going to mix up some samples of a few different viscosities for both U6 Pro and also UX Pro. And then we're going to test them out and just see what we think, and maybe we'll even talk about it as a community and see what you guys' thoughts are. Now, some people are going to prefer clay-like, and some people like the sticky putties. And sticky putties have a use case for anytime it's a device that's going to have flex. So if you ever did a phone, if you use thermal putty on your phone or your Switch or another handheld like Steam Deck, I would probably... I'd have to look at cooler design. It really depends how rigid the cold plate is and the assembly itself and how much flex people are expecting, but even laptops probably benefit from a stickier putty, if I'm being honest. Now, I've got UX Pro on my laptop and it's great. I've got no complaints. So my laptop's not the best laptop to test with because I don't have memory temperature sensors, so I'm just trusting my other test results on video cards to tell me that yes, UX Pro is definitely going to cool that GDDR6 with no issues. PTM, or what do I have on my laptop? I might have PCM1. I'll have to go and check again. It's probably the Honeywell stuff. I can't remember which one I applied. But, yeah. Ooh. Did you make any mess here? It's pretty good. One thing I always like to do is clean the PCI Express connector with the Q-tip and isopropyl, both sides. Because the last thing I want to do with my test bench, especially, is jam a bunch of dirt in there and rub back and forth as I take this card out and put it back in dozens and dozens of times. That's why I don't disconnect the fan cables each time. So let's take a look at this putty. Go to the close-up cam. Oh, let's go look at the media for a sec. Yeah, did you guys see that? So this, I need to update this further. I did stream with this chart up there yesterday. This is not the ETC hash at all. This is the FurMark bench test. Let me go. Panel background chart. So I'm going to just show you guys the ETC hash one. This is the one that we've been comparing online so far. And we've got in that right column the VRAM T Delta. You know, it's a toss-up. It's very close between UX Pro and CXH1300. But that's with incomplete coverage with the UX Pro. But if you look at the Core T Delta, it's that purple column there. So the UX Pro Core T Delta with this test got 20.8 Celsius above ambient. And then the next two are both 21.2, 21.6. And then we go back down to the low 20s. And what I interpret this as is that this is not to do with the VRAM having more access to the cooler. This is compression and core contact issues for both the CXH1300 and the Upsiren UX Pro, or sorry, U6 Pro. So we're going to retest these top three after we work through a few more putties, because they trade blows. So we'll go back to the FurMark, and you can see the CX is edging out by 0.2. And then let's go one further for max power. This is Kapow. This is at 309 watts, guys. And that's with like an overclock memory. Like that's plus 1100 to the VRAM. All the tests have plus 1100, all three. The only test that I power limit is the ETC hash test. And I do a minus 502 on the core frequency just for that test. But the FurMark and the Kapow tests are full power. But you can see 309 and the TGP of the video card is 310. And I could totally use a slider and probably increase it 5, 6, 7%. But for testing, this is what we're doing. And you can see the UX Pro is on top by a degree for the VRAM. Yeah. So let's go back to the close-up cam here. I just wanted to show you guys. This is TG6060. Oh, this is going to be focusing issues, isn't it? I wish there was a focus slider that I could... yeah, so that's the excess pressing out. A little bit. There's not tons of excess, just a little. But I'm not worried about it doing falling down or anything. Well, you can kind of see right in there a little bit of putty. That slot. Let's see. I'm looking at the screen as I'm doing this, which is probably... Okay. I'm kind of butchering, trying to get good coverage. Now, let's talk about the compression. Sorry, Andy, you agree as well. Yeah. And you're asking, was the CX tough and clay-like? Let me go grab it real quick here. All right, I need to get some, need to find where my gloves are. I should probably just order some more. Right, which one is it? So we got OCP10 Zezio and the CX H1300. Sorry, I was just having fun. So it is clay-like. It's not tough though, and it does feel like it's a good consistency. Cross-contaminate here, so let's just be careful. And we got some yeah, I mean, you know what, they are similar. The U6 and the CX. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna do some testing. I'm gonna find a test. I'm gonna make a little jig where I put a ball. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll a ball with a specific diameter of a putty, so it's a sphere. That way I can have, oh, you were asking for basically what my gut reaction was to go and do. Yeah. Core contact issues, yeah. So let's talk about that. For compression, what I mean is, before, I don't know, I'm thinking what I'm going to keep doing. What I have been doing is, I'll do these screws part way and get these started, just so everything's in alignment, and then I flip it over, make sure the surface is flat, and I press down here with, well, I could do it now, but basically just, I need to measure that force. So I'll maybe I'll get a phone book. Do people still have phone books in their houses? That would be like a good standard weight, or like Encyclopedia Britannica A through H or something. Like if I could figure out a standard, like how much force that I'm applying, and then translate that to weight of a book, everyone should be able to find something that they can mimic that with. Maybe like a full ream of paper, the 11 by 8 by 8.5 by 11 standard paper that we use for printers. Maybe that would be one of those, or maybe two. Be interesting. Yes, the OCP10, which was not very high performing, was much softer. Zezio was soft and gummy too. Maybe a book and a 5 kg dumbbell. Maybe that would be a decent amount of weight too. But maybe that would be accurate. I should figure out and measure. I'm just trying to think which scale that I have. I have a bunch of scales that are meant for like really low amounts of weight, whether it's for like reloading. I've got the kitchen one that I'm using here, but I don't have, and I've got ones for like standing on, but those don't really show or aren't super accurate at the low range. Maybe I'll have to get like a little scale or something. All right. Just got putty everywhere. So that's this card back together, and I think I'm gonna try and get this on the test bench now, because we've got 11:30, and because we're gonna want to test this tonight, the Laird Poly SH Putty 3. So that'll be the next one. So we got maybe 7-ish hours or so, 7.5, and then I'll do that one. Andy asks, do you have to know the exact force though? No. Wouldn't it be enough to just apply the same force every time? Yes. Yep. I would agree with that. I've had good luck with the amount of force that I instinctually apply, and the only thing is I would just like to figure out and like what approximately what that is, and then just get a book. I'm not going to go buy an expensive scale or anything. I'll find a method of figuring it out, but I should I'm going to go back to a test that I could probably do in the future here for clay-like putties. I could take like a book or something like a known weight, and maybe I'd roll up a ball of a putty that is clay-like. I'm not going to do the soft ones, I don't think. That's maybe like 10 millimeters diameter sphere, and I'll plop that gently onto the, maybe something like my copper blocks or something similar, and then I'll put a specific weight on top, and we'll just like see how much it compresses over time, and that'll be a good indication of like how they compare clay-like wise and which ones are softer, because, you know, ideally we would have one that's high performing, clay-like and clean, and still soft enough to fairly easy compress, and also have an option for a stickier putty where people are worried about flexing. You know, people have their preferences, so it'd be nice to have both. So anyways, guys, I think that's it for this stream. I'll most likely be on later tonight with the teardown and the SH Putty 3. So thanks for checking out my stream, and